Trinidad is not just a postcard. It is a living, vibrant city where the colonial past speaks with the Cuban present. Its cobblestones, pastel facades, joyful music, and warm people make it an unforgettable experience. Here, time seems suspended. Yet every moment spent in Trinidad remains etched in memory. Welcome to Trinidad, the pastel pearl of Cuba, a Caribbean treasure and a heritage of humanity. Let's begin our journey aboard the famous double-decker sightseeing bus. Take a seat on the upper deck, where the breeze gently brushes your face and every turn reveals a breathtaking new view. Around us, the city unfolds, vibrant, colorful, alive with stories waiting to be told. The rooftops glisten under the sunlight, old facades mingle with modern buildings, and the hum of daily life sets the rhythm for our departure. The engine hums softly as the bus glides forward, and soon, the city's landmarks rise before us. We pass hurried pedestrians, street performers, lively cafe terraces filled with the aroma of freshly ground coffee. It's the beginning of a voyage through time, where past and present, tradition and modernity meet in a living mosaic. So sit back, open your eyes wide, and let yourself be carried away by this urban adventure, high above the streets, gazing into the beating heart of the city. Welcome to Trinidad, one of Cuba's most precious jewels. Nestled between the lush green mountains of the Escambray Sierra and the turquoise waters of the Caribbean Sea, this city frozen in time is a true open-air museum. Its cobblestone streets, pastel houses with red-tiled roofs, wrought-iron balconies, and colonial churches tell more than 5 centuries of history. Trinidad is not just a backdrop, it is a unique atmosphere. It is the sound of horse-drawn carriages echoing on stone, a guitar played spontaneously on a sunlit square, and a strong coffee shared at dawn. In this immersive journey, we will dive together into its history, its people, its monuments, its beaches, its mountains, and everything that makes the heart of this colorful city beat with timeless charm. Trinidad is located in the province of Sancti Spiritus, in the south-central part of Cuba. It is bordered to the south by the Caribbean Sea and sheltered to the north by the Escambray Mountains. This exceptional location offers a unique wealth: fertile valleys for agriculture, mountains covered with tropical forests, and white sandy beaches, such as the famous Playa Ancon. The city is crossed by small rivers that flow down to the sea, bringing freshness and life. Trinidad stands at the crossroads of two worlds: the sea and the mountains, culture and nature. In Trinidad, if you plan to take a long walk, it's wiser to stay on the sidewalk and avoid the old cobblestone streets. Those centuries-old stones, polished by time, tell the city's story with every step. But under the blazing Cuban sun, their uneven surface can quickly turn a stroll into a careful balancing act. On the sidewalk, the walk becomes smoother, almost meditative. With every step, the city reveals itself: pastel-colored walls, wrought-iron balconies, and heavy wooden doors opening onto hidden courtyards filled with flowers. Children's laughter blends with the soft rattle of an old bicycle, while the aroma of freshly brewed coffee escapes from an open window. Everywhere, life hums gently. Music drifts from a balcony, a vendor calls out to passers-by, and the warm breeze stirs light curtains. Walking through Trinidad feels like stepping back in time, a journey through colors, sounds, and scents in a city suspended between yesterday and today. Founded in 1514 by Diego Velázquez de Cuellar, Trinidad is one of Cuba's oldest cities. In its early years, the town served as a base for Spanish expeditions to the continent. Even Hernán Cortés stopped here before setting out to conquer Mexico. In the 18th century, Trinidad prospered thanks to the sugar trade and the Valley of the Sugar Mills, where dozens of plantations sustained the region. Wealthy families built lavish palaces, while thousands of enslaved Africans worked the cane fields. In the 19th century, the collapse of the sugar market plunged the city into isolation. Ironically, this isolation preserved its colonial architecture, which remains almost intact today. In 1988, Trinidad and the Valley of the Sugar Mills were declared UNESCO World Heritage Sites, cementing the city as a treasure of history and memory. Walking through Trinidad feels like stepping back in time. The cobblestone streets, uneven and worn, glisten under the tropical light. Pastel facades, sky blue, soft pink, bright yellow, pale green, form a living painting. Heavy wooden doors sometimes open onto shaded courtyards, revealing inner gardens, fountains, and tropical flowers. Around Plaza Mayor, colonial palaces showcase the wealth of the past. Ornate balconies, frescoes, and grand columns. In the humbler neighborhoods, daily life unfolds. Children playing, residents sitting on doorsteps, smiles shared in the warmth of the evening. By day, the Plaza Mayor comes to life under the tropical sun. Its gardens, set in symmetrical quarters, boast elegant palm trees and are edged by white wrought-iron fences that gleam in the light. Passers-by stroll by. Tourists pause to admire the pastel facades of colonial houses, while others rest on benches, observing the calm flow of life. The Grand Church of the Holy Trinity presides over the square, its neoclassical architecture standing in stark contrast with the refined details of surrounding buildings. The famed Palacio Brunette, now the Romantic Museum, reveals frescoes, ornamental balconies, and aged wooden doors. At the heart of the square, the statue of Terpsichore watches over, the muse of dance, as a silent emblem of Cuba's latent rhythm. Surrounding cobblestone streets frame the square, living witnesses to a carefully preserved past. At sunset, as daylight fades, the light softens into golden hues. The facades glow with a pale brilliance. Long shadows stretch across the plaza, and the air becomes almost enchanted. The distant murmur of conversation mingles with a whisper of wind through palm fronds. Iron lanterns begin to glow, casting gentle halos over benches, fences, and architectural contours. From afar, the notes of a guitar or a clave drift in, Cuban music rising like a fleeting melody between the walls. The Plaza Mayor transforms into an open-sky theater. Statues, grilled windows, and all outlines become living silhouettes, one after another. Walking through this glow, one feels the city inhale, tracing the echoes of a glorious past, summoning the vibrant present. In Trinidad, conviviality is part of everyday life. In the morning, the aroma of Cuban coffee drifts through the streets. In the Palada's small family-run restaurants, you can savor typical dishes: rice and black beans, grilled pork, fresh lobster, all accompanied by tropical fruits. By evening, the city shifts its rhythm. Music fills the streets: salsa, Cuban sun rumba. At the legendary Casa de la Trova, musicians electrify the crowd, and soon, locals and visitors alike are drawn into the dance. In Trinidad, music is not a performance, it is daily life itself. Around a corner, life opens like a colorful book. Stalls overflowing with local treasures greet the curious eye. Vibrant fabrics, lightweight hand-embroidered shirts, straw hats decked with bright ribbons. Each piece tells a story. You'll also find figurines crafted in wood or clay, embodiments of beliefs, faces, dreams. Souvenirs mingle with everyday items. Keychains, postcards, delicate jewelry with local beads, small wrought-iron lanterns. In this micro-market, colors abound. Reds, turquoises, yellows, and the sunlight dances with the shadows of stretched awnings. Passers-by pause, select an item, exchange a smile or a word with the vendor. The air carries the discreet sense of wood, leather, fresh textiles, an invitation to touch, smell, feel the soul of the place through each little object. This street shop becomes a secret passage into the identity of a people, its traditions, skilled hands, creativity born from the heart. One, the antique shop on a sunlit street. A large antique shop draws me in like a hidden treasure. Inside, every object seems to carry a story of its own. Graceful statuettes, finely carved wooden sculptures, and hand-painted canvases speak of the patience and talent of local artisans. Between the shelves, postcards of the city pile up like fragments of memory, preserving cobblestone streets, colorful facades, and everyday life. The shop feels like a living museum, a quiet sanctuary where time itself has chosen a pause. primary school. A little further on, a modest primary school comes into view, alive with children's voices. In the courtyard, pupils are divided into small groups, focused on their tasks. Their faces radiate a universal innocence, and the simple, timeless setting carries me back to my own childhood memories. Fascinated, I stop and stay. I watch them, then find myself joining in, swept into a journey back in time. Their games, their songs, their improvised lessons offer me a rare moment of purity and wonder. The open windows. As I continue my walk, I notice a house with wide open windows. They do more than let in the light. They turn into cinema screens. The actors in this film are the passers-by, the street vendors, the hurried and the unhurried figures moving through the street. Each one plays a part in this improvised movie of daily life. Sitting there, watching through these living frames, I become absorbed in the ordinary yet extraordinary spectacle. It is poetry in motion, offered freely to those who simply take the time to see. The municipality of Trinidad is home to around 75,000 inhabitants. They are known as the Trinitarios. Their daily lives are closely tied to tourism, but also to agriculture, fishing, and traditional crafts. Many families welcome visitors into their homes through casas particulars, private guest houses where travelers can share a meal, a coffee, or simply a conversation. The people of Trinidad are renowned for their warmth and genuine hospitality. In their smiles and their simple gestures, one discovers the true soul of the city. Today, tourism is the lifeblood of Trinidad. Each year, hundreds of thousands of visitors from all over the world wander its cobblestone streets, admire its pastel facades, and enjoy its nearby beaches and mountains. In 2024, despite Cuba's ongoing economic challenges, tourist numbers remain strong. But welcoming so many travelers presents a challenge. How can the city expand its infrastructure while preserving its unique authenticity? This delicate balance between opening to the world and protecting heritage lies at the heart of Trinidad's future. The heart of Trinidad is Plaza Mayor. Around this central square stand the city's most iconic landmarks: the Church of the Holy Trinity, the Brunette Palace with its romantic museum, and the former convent of San Francisco, with its yellow bell tower rising above the town. Just a few kilometers away, the Valley of the Sugar Mills recalls the golden age of sugar. The 45-meter-high Naga Tower once served to oversee the plantations. Today, it offers breathtaking views over the valley. Nature is ever-present. The Topes de Calantes Park, nestled in the Escambray Mountains, enchants visitors with its waterfalls, hiking trails, and lush vegetation. And of course, the Caribbean coast with Playa Ancon, one of Cuba's most beautiful white sandy beaches. Admire these streets lined with small houses painted in dazzling colors, each facade seeming to compete with the next. The roofs, covered with aged clay tiles, radiate an air of warmth and authenticity. The relentless sun weighs heavily on the scene, leaving the streets almost deserted. Here, life retreats into the shade, behind half-open shutters, escaping the scorching heat that makes the air shimmer above the cobblestones. Before a well-kept cemetery, a strange thought arises. The paths are clean, the graves carefully adorned with flowers, each stone standing as a testimony of eternal respect. And yet, one cannot help but wonder, do we care more for the dead than for the living? These places of silence, so carefully tended, stand in contrast with the neighboring streets, often worn by the struggles of daily life. More colors, endlessly vivid, endlessly bold. Here, the walls seem to be the canvases of a giant painter, and the sky itself becomes an open frame stretching into infinity. Reds, blues, and yellows blend together, while the sunlight amplifies this visual explosion. It feels like walking through a living masterpiece, a painting that constantly reinvents itself with every step. Imagine sitting on this bus, the windows wide open. In front of you stretches a dazzling mosaic of colors beneath the radiant sun. Each facade passes by like a living work of art. But be careful. Duck your head slightly, for wires stretch across the streets, dangerously close. Beauty and caution intertwine here, making the experience all the more vivid. At the edge of the city, the scenery shifts once more. People wait patiently for a bus or a taxi, standing still under the heat. A cow crosses the road with calm assurance, as if she ruled the intersection. Around her, carts creak, bicycles weave between pedestrians, and motorbikes release a thick haze of smoke and noise. Here, traffic itself becomes a spectacle, chaotic yet strangely captivating. Trinidad offers a wide range of accommodations. For travelers seeking modern comfort, prestigious hotels like the Iberostar Grand Trinidad or the Melia Peninsula provide luxury and top-class services. But the most authentic experience is found in the Casa's particulars. Sleeping in a local home, sharing a meal, listening to stories of daily life. This is stepping directly into the heart of Cuban culture. In Trinidad, every lodging tells a story, and every night spent brings the traveler closer to the soul of the city.